Hey guys, in this video I want to show you how to offset a copy to point in Houdini, so let's dive in. So I've created a new blank scene and the first step is to add a new geometry node. So here you can rename it something like offset copy to points and you can dive inside. So here I will import my model. I have an animated flowers, so I will add an object merge. And here I will paste my flower to this object one. In that case, I have imported my animated flower into this new geometry container. So now I have my animated flowers from the frame 1 to the frame 300. And now we can create a little line to copy these flowers onto different points. So let's create a new line. And here with the line, we can keep the directions on the y-axis. So we can keep 1 on the y-axis. And here we can put the length to 2. So here we have the lines. And now we can add a resample node to add a bit more points on this line. So here with the resample node, we can make the point visible by clicking on these little icons. And now we can reduce the length value. In that case, we have a bit more resolution on this line. And we can also enable the curve view attributes. So in that case, we have an attribute going from 0 to 1 on this curve. And later we can use this attribute to remove some points at the bottom of the line. So now let's add an attribute noise on the position of this line. And also we can use the curve view attribute to remap the noise. So let's add an attribute noise. And here we can add some noise on the position attribute. So let's remove the color attribute by default and let's replace it with the position attribute. So we can type uppercase P. And now we have some noise on this curve, but we want to get some noise only on the top of the curve. So here we can blend this with the curve view attribute. So we can enable the blend options and here we can use an attribute. And we can use the curve view attribute that we have created before with the resample node. And we can also change the range values of this attribute noise and we can change it from positive to 0 center rate. So here on the settings of the noise, we can enable the fractal tab and we can decrease the roughness to 0. In that case, we have something way smoother. Here for the element size, we can increase it to something like 1.75. And here for the amplitude, we can decrease it to 0.5. So now we have this kind of result for the noise. So now let's create some normals on the points. So in that case, we can copy some lines on those different points and later we can copy the flowers on those lines. So first let's create the normals. So to do that, we can use a point velocity node. And here with the point velocity, we can visualize the velocity attribute. So to do that, you can click on the little eye icon on the point velocity and you can enable the velocity attributes. So at the moment, we don't have anything. So we can go to the conical noise and here we can enable these options and now we have this kind of result. And if you want, you can play with the cone angle. So in my case, I will put the value to maybe something like this. If you want, you can also add curl noise by enable these options, but in my case, I will keep it as it is. And you can also play with the global seed if you want. So now let's create the normals attribute based on those velocity attributes. So let's add an attribute wrangles. And here we can define our normals attribute. So we can type v at n is equal to v at v. In that case, we can create the normals attribute based on the velocity attributes. And now we have our normals attribute. So at the moment on the lines, we have around 200 points, which is quite a lot. So we can remove some points randomly. So to do that, let's add a delete node. And here with the delete node, you can select point instead of primitives. And here you can go to the random tab and you can enable these options. And we can remove something like 96% of the points. So in that case, we have only those points. And now we can add an add node to keep the points and remove the primitives. And here with the add node, you can click on delete geometry, but keep the points. In that case, it will keep only those points. So here, if you want, you can remove some points based on the curve view attribute. So to do that, let's add an attribute wrangles. And here you can type if f at curve view is below. And here you can create a new channel float. So you can type chf. And here you can rename it curve view. Then we can remove points based on that. So let's use the remove points functions. And here you can type 0 and at pt num. And now let's create these little channels that we have created here. So to do that, you can click on these little icons and here you can change the value and you'll see it will remove the points based on the curve view attribute. So in that case, you can remove the bottom points if you want. But in my case, I will keep the value to something like this.
Most Houdini tutorials show you tricks. Very few teach you how to build real, production-ready setups from scratch. Artilabs is a premium Houdini training platform for artists who want production-level results, used in motion design, simulations, and high-end product visuals. You get 45+ hours of advanced content, including 2 complete courses where you build high-end animations from start to finish, exactly like in real client work. Every lesson includes full Houdini project files, so you're never guessing. You follow the exact workflow step by step. The library keeps growing every month. And right now, annual access is discounted with an extra 20% off for a limited time. Click the link below. Start building Houdini work that actually attracts professional clients.
So now let's add a random value for the p-scale. In that case, we have different size for the lines that we will copy just after that. So to do that, let's add an attribute adjust float. And here by default on the attribute adjust float, we have the p-scale attribute, which is what we want. And here on the operation, you can keep that on add. And so here for the pattern type, you can change it from constant to noise. And here for the noise, we can define a minimum value for the p-scale attribute and a maximum value. So for the minimum value, we can set the value at 0.1, and for the maximum value, we can set the value at 0.15. So here for the noise, we can decrease the element size to 0.1. In that case, we have a bit more contrast between the different value, between 0.1 and 0.15. So now let's add an attribute delete to remove the curve view attributes. And now let's add a copy to points. In that case, we can copy some lines on those points. So here you can plug the points on the second input, and let's add a line. And here for the line, you can copy this one to the first input. But for the line, we have to define the direction on the z-axis. So you can put 0 on the y-axis and put 1 on the z-axis. And now you can see the result. So here for this line, let's add a resample node. And for the length of this resample node, you can put the value at 0.02. And let's enable the curve view attributes. And now let's add a bit of noise to this little line. So let's add a new attribute, noise. And here, like before, we can put the noise on the position attribute, and we want to control the noise based on the curve view attribute. So here you can click on the blend options, and you can put that to use attributes. And here you can use the curve view attribute. So here for the noise, you can change the range value from positive to 0 centered. And here you can put the amplitude to something like 0.3. And here you can decrease the element size to something like 0.9. And you can go to the fractal tab, and you can decrease the roughness to 0. So now if you want, you can play with some settings on the attribute adjust float. If you want, you can increase the maximum value or the minimum value for the noise. You can also play with the offset. And you can also change the delete node, and you can play with the global seed just to change the position of the points. So maybe you can put the value to something like this. So now let's add a merge. In that case, we can merge our original curve with those little curves. So here you can take the output of the curve, and you can add merge. So here you can plug this one to the merge and also this one, and you can visualize this. So now we want to copy these flowers on the top of each line. So to do that, we want to create a little group for the end of each curve. So to do that, let's add a group expression node. And here with the group expressions, you can change it from primitive to points. And here for the group name, you can rename it something like copy. And for the expression here, you can choose the preset first point of primitives, but here we can remove the 0. And here you can type prim vertex count, and you can type 0 at prim num minus 1. In that case, we have the last point of each curve in this group called copy. And you can use that in the next copy to points to copy the animated flowers on those points. So now let's add a copy to points. Now you can plug the geometry on the first input, and you can plug the point on the second input of the copy to points. And here on the target points, we have to select the groups that we have created. And in my case, it's called copy. So now let's check the result of the copy to points. So now we have this result, and the flowers is not correctly oriented because we have to add the orient along curve after this little small curves that we have created. So here let's put the orient along curve just after the group expression node. And now let's see the result of the copy to points. So now we have this result, and the flower is correctly placed on the points. So now let's create the offset for this copy to point for the animated flowers. So to do that, we need to create an attribute for the falloff. So in my case, I will use a MOPs falloff to create the delay. But if you want, you can create your own attribute to create the falloff. So let's add the MOPs spread falloff. So here you can put the MOPs spread falloff after the orient along curve. Now you can visualize this node. And here we can define the first point at the bottom of the curve. So here you have to select the start point group. In my case, I will do a manual selection by clicking on these icons. But if you have a group created before, you can select your group by clicking on these little icons. So in my case, I'll do a manual selection. So I click on these icons. I'll put 2 points. And here I will select some points at the bottom of the curve. And I will press enter. So now I can preview the falloff. Here I can go to the first frame of my animations. I can go to animate. And here I can add a keyframe to the spread value with Alt and left click. And now I can go to the frame, let's say 120. And here I can put the spread value to something like here. Let's add a new keyframe. And here you can go to the animation editor, press H, and you can select this, and you can put that to linear. Now you can go back to the scene view, and we have this result with this animated falloff along the lines. So now let's define a p-scale value based on the MOPs falloff. So to do that, let's add an attribute wrangles. And here we can create a p-scale attribute based on this falloff. So to do that, let's type f at p-scale is equal to channel ramp. In that case, we can refine the ramp if needed. So let's rename the ramp something like scale, and let's do the ramp based on our f at mops falloff attributes. And now let's create the ramp by clicking on this. And if you want, you can remap the ramp. But in my case, I will keep it as it. So now if I go to the copy 2 points, I don't have anything because at the beginning of the animation, the mops falloff is equal to 0. And if I scroll around the timeline, we can see that we have an animated p-scale on those flowers. So to offset this animated copy 2 points, we need 3 things. The first one is to add an attribute wrangle here on the points because we need to create an offset attribute. So here we can rename this attribute wrangle something like offset attrib. We need to add a time shift on the animated geo. So let's add a time shift node, and you can plug the time shift after the object merge. And we need a loop to iterate over each point. So let's add a for each point. And here you can plug this to the first input of the loop. And here you can put the copy 2 point inside the loop. So you can plug that to the second input of the copy 2 points, and you can plug that to the output of the loop. So now let's create the offset attribute. So first let's create a variable called delay. So let's add a float delay. And here you can fit our mops falloff into different values. So let's use the fit 01 because the mops falloff is going from 0 to 1. So let's add the fit 01 functions and let's type at mops falloff. And here you can remap this attribute from 0 to 1 to 0 to 5. So here let's create the offset attribute based on that. So you can type f at offset is equal to channel float offset plus our delay variables that we have created with the mops falloff attribute. And here we can create this little channel by clicking on this. And if you want, you can keep the offset at 0 or 1. It's up to you. This offset channel is just a channel to move the global animation at the same time. So basically, if your animation starts too early, you can put a negative value. And if you want to delay the whole thing from the frame 1, put a positive value to this offset. So in my case, I will keep the value at 1, but it's up to you to change this offset channel. So now let's tweak the time shift node based on this offset attributes that we have created. So here you can select the time shift node. And here on the time shift node, by default, under the frame channel, we have $f, which is the current frame of the timeline. So let's use the point functions. And here we want to target the loop, but maybe we can rename the loop. So at the moment, the name of the loop is for each begin 1. Maybe we can rename this one something like offset flowers. So here let's select the time shift, and now we can select the loops. So here for the points, you can select this loop by pressing 2 dots and this, and you can select the offset flower loop. Here you can type 0, you can select the offset attributes, and you can type 0 for the end. So now we can check if everything works nice. So to do that, we can maybe disable the p-scale attribute for now, for the flowers. So let's disable this attribute wrangles at the moment. In that case, we don't have the p-scale animation based on the mops falloff. We can also select the mops spread falloff to increase the falloff size. So at the moment, we have something quite thin for the falloff. So maybe we can increase the falloff width to something like 0.6. And now you can go to maybe this frame and let's reduce it to 0.4 to 5. And you can go to this frame. In that case, we have the bottom flowers with the attribute at 1 and the top flowers with the attribute at 0. So that means the bottom flower should be fully opened and the top flower should be fully closed. So in that case, we can check if everything works nice. So we can go to the end of the loop. And now you can see we don't have any offsets. So we have a tiny offset because if we remove the time shift and plug the animated flowers to the first point of the copy 2 points, we can see we have a tiny offset on the bottom flowers. So that means we have to change the value for the offset attributes. So here we have the minimum and maximum value for the remap of the mops falloff. So maybe in our case, we can remap it from 0 to 250 instead of 0 to 5. So let's put 0 to 250. And now you can see the bottom flowers is opened and the top flowers is closed. So that means the offset is working correctly. But now you can see the bottom flowers is disappear because the cache animation is made for only 300 frames. So that means we have to clamp the time shift for maybe 250 frames. So let's do that. Let's add a clamp functions here for the entire expressions. And here we can clamp that from the frame 1 to 250. And now you can see it works perfectly. So that means when the flowers is fully opened and when the cache animation is done, the flower will stuck at the last frame. So now we can enable the p-scale attribute one more time. And now you can see we have the p-scale animations and we also have the offset animation based on the MOPs falloff attribute. So here we have some intersection between some flowers. So maybe we can disable the time shift. Let's put that enables. And let's remove the p-scale attribute so we can remove some flowers. So we can go to the last frame. And maybe we can remove these flowers and also this one on the top right. So to do that, we can remove the points. So here let's select the node here. And we can add a blast node. And here for the blast, we can select maybe this primitive. And also, I think it's this one. And press enter. So now let's see the results. And now we don't have any intersection between the flowers. So here let's enable the p-scale attribute. And let's plug that to the first input of the copy 2 points. So of course you have to change the value here based on your own animations. And here if you want on the copy 2 point, you can click on packed and instance. So in that case, we have the animation going a bit faster. And then if needed, you can add a file cache after that. And you can rename it something like offset flowers. And here you can put that to explicit. You can put that in the cache tut folder. And you can paste that under a $OS folder, which is the name of the node. And you can put that in cache for 300 frame. And maybe in our case, we want to offset the spread value a bit more because we don't have any animation until the frame something like 60. So let's go to the MOP spread falloff. And here let's put the spread to something like this. And here you can go to the frame 150. And here you can put the spread to. So now we have this animation. So now let's put that in cache. So the cache is done. And now we have the final animation with the p-scale animation and also the offset. And if you want, you can merge these flowers with the base line. So you can take the line from here. And if you want, you can add a sweep node on the line. And here with the sweep node, you can define a radius. And you can also, if you want, animate the radius with the p-scale, but this is up to you. And here you can match the radius with the radius of this. And if needed, you can fuse the flowers with the trunk. And you can also increase the columns. But this is the final animations and you can tweak it as you want. But this is the technique to offset copy 2 points in Houdini. So that's it for this tutorial. I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye. That's it for today, guys. You can check out our website to get some premium courses, tutorials, project file, Houdini tools, and more. So check it out with the link in the description.